Welcome back, everyone, to the Paige Kornblue Show. You know, this is a special one. Today is about the mamas. Mother's Day month, week, day, the works. This is a very special Mother's Day episode of the Paige Kornblue Show. It's all heart and truth, and it's going to go in several different directions, like many of us do, day to day, week to week, month to month. I think we have about 150 tabs open at any given time, in our minds, on paper, in the car, at work, everywhere. We're going to throw out the game plans today. We're embracing that chaos, opening up our hearts and our conversations, because motherhood, as many of us know, is magic and madness. It's magical, it's messy, it's exhausting and exhilarating, and it's hilarious, and it's heartbreaking. All of that. At the end of the day, it's wonderful, and it's such a gift. So I hope this little audio and video podcast is a space for all of it a little bit this year. And so I invited some of my favorite women, rock star moms, dear friends, fearless business owners, truth tellers. They're all dropping in for just a couple minutes of nuggets of stories, something about motherhood, a struggle, a piece of advice, perhaps, a shout out, a moment, just something I wanted them to share. I blasted it out to all my friends. I'm sure I forgot some. And I just did this yesterday, the day before, because it was a last minute thought. And so some are out of town. Some will be mad at me because they didn't get that text, but I'll do this again, I promise. I think it's going to catch on. And then some were available and said, I'm popping in for a minute or two. And so you're going to hear from some of them. I do have some text messages from others that I'll be sharing with all of you at the end of the episode, and some thoughts from me and from my mom, who's up above. I'm going to share some of those as well. So whether you're a mom, you love a mom, you're missing a mom, or you're still waiting to become one, this episode is for you. I'm going to start off with a friend of mine named Jackie Reeves. She's a wealth manager and a mom of 2 girls.
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. You are a community servant. You are inspiring in your work and out and about, from what I know and how I get to work with you in many different ways. And your kids have come along for the ride.
They have. They are along for the ride. And as you mentioned, inspirational, which is part of being a mom, right? You want to instill that inspiration. You want to instill that empathy, that care for your community, that care for your fellow human being. And so it's a very special time in my life as they become young women, young adults, responsible adults. So it's been a wonderful journey.
Yeah. How old are your girls now?
21 recently and 26.
Okay.
So when you reached out, some, I'll say moments, it's been a big 2025. So my mom passed last year too, so that's still pretty raw. And my daughters, though, last week graduated from FAU.
Congrats.
My youngest.
Go Owls.
Go Owls. And my oldest bought a house here in Boca Raton. So that's so exciting. And we're all leaning in as much as we can to help fix it up and move in. And so really big milestones ahead of this Mother's Day. So very special moments.
What's something you wanted to share?
So I would love to share that, think of being present. You had some inspirational words at the onset, and we have many tabs open, and a lot of time our day is filled with many tasks. And we're moving from one to another, sometimes so quickly, because we have to be so quick, that we might forget to really be present for our children and really be mindful for maybe what happened before they got in the car when we were doing pickup line, or before you saw them at the end of their workday. And so to just really try and be present for them is something that I would like to share.
Even in their 20s.
Even in their 20s.
Right.
One of local mom shared with me when my kids were much younger. And it was just open, raw honesty. And I, said, how are things going? How are your kids? And she shared that, bigger children, sometimes bigger problems. So you're always the mom. I want to be that mom for the young adults as well. And transitioning from them, how much they really need you as infants and then toddlers and school children to now is a different need, and being their friend and colleague and confidant. And, I was talking to my daughter before coming here, obviously Mother's Day, and she's like, maybe we can do a sleepover and we can wake up and have coffee together and go rollerblading. And so just being there for each other during these moments, whether it's a weekend like Mother's Day or any other weekend, is lovely.
Right. I think I failed last night that my daughter was wanting to show me her project late,
Right.
She's such a night owl, and I'm like, go to bed. And, and I'm thinking, okay, wait, you're supposed to be able to do these night talks. This is the best time they talk.
Right.
In my head, which one do I do? But I'm so tired. And I said, when is it due? And she said, not till Monday. I said, okay. And so I, postponed that moment. Because I could. But if not, if it was due to, today.
The next day.
Right.
Absolutely. Which we get those calls too.
We do, right? Yes. But I love that. It's such a good reminder, Jackie. One thing I wanted to ask you about women and because of your specialty, wealth management, what's kind of your number one tip? I know we'll do a whole future episode with you and your advice and guidance in that space, but something for women to stay strong and stay educated.
Yes, and stay on the journey. The one thing that I've noticed over my career, Mom, as well as in your career, we tend to put ourselves last. So as you're building your wealth within your family and also for yourself, to make sure you do put that aside for yourself, the nest egg, so that over time you have more control, you have more flexibility with decisions that you might want to make later on. So even if it's the smallest amount, we joke about that latte effect. If it's $5 here, $10 there, or $500, it really builds up over time. And as a woman, to be able to say financial flexibility and have as many choices as you want later on, I think that's really helpful.
I love that. And I think it's a great reminder, you never know what tomorrow is going to bring.
Correct.
A divorce for me, right? And so to stay ahead of the game is very valuable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Jackie, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Happy Mother's Day. Keep your mom present.
Yes. Thank you, Paige.
Yeah.
You too.
Now we're going to hear from Dr. Melissa Hancock. She's a brilliant plastic and reconstructive surgeon here in Boca Raton, Florida, with the official title of your practice,
the Nose and Sinus Institute of Boca Raton.
Thank you, Melissa. Your second time out, you are a brand new mom. Second time out of the house.
Yes, basically.
On the Paige Kornblue Show. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
The brand new mom nugget is...
keep going. It's... I don't even know where to start because I feel like the past 5 weeks have been such a whirlwind. Like it's been building to this moment to have a baby, and you have this baby and then you're in the hospital for a day or two, and then they say, here, take your human and go home and care for it. And they don't give you they give you like a little instruction manual, and you think you're prepared and you have all the things and the nursery and more diapers than you can count. But it's not until you get home and you're really with the baby that you realize that this is so, nothing can prepare you for it at all in the best way possible. But it's just, yes, 5 weeks of motherhood.
After my first, and then I had twins, as you know, when I was in the hospital, I was like, can I stay here as long as I the first one's such a whirlwind. You just go home. Yeah. And then the second one, I was like, can I get comfy here? Because you realize they're taking care of me and they're passing me the baby. You know?
It was, I had a really great hospital experience. So it was, I felt like they really just kind of gave me the confidence I needed when I went home. But once you go home, you're just really trying to figure it out. You think you'll have time to like read a book or, consult someone in the moment, but like you don't. You just really have to kind of trust your instincts that somehow come out of nowhere, and just kind of do the best that you can with the people that are around you and your village, and just go from there. And as long as your baby is okay, then you're okay.
You're okay. Talk about, for a little while there, on certain days you were not okay. I mean, your path to becoming a mom wasn't easy.
Yes.
You had, you struggled with conceiving. What do you want to share about that, perhaps for some others who might be in the same position?
It was my journey to motherhood really started almost 4 years ago now. It really started when I made the decision that initially I was just going to freeze my eggs. It was about fertility preservation at that point. I had no idea that I would have difficulty conceiving. So my husband and I actually ended up freezing embryos, and then we got married, and then we tried for about 6 months and nothing was happening. So that's when we went back to the IVF doctors, and you think it's just going to be, okay, it'll be a month. Okay, next month we'll be pregnant. Then it turned into, okay, 6 months we'll be pregnant. And then it turned into, okay, maybe this is the year that we'll be pregnant. And it's really just a series of disappointments and heartbreaks, and it's not easy, and it's not a path that I would ever wish for anyone else to be on. It's a path no one chooses, but you really have no choice but to push through it. You find ways to really just celebrate those small wins. You get an embryo from an egg retrieval, or you have mature eggs, or your lining thickens enough. It's really just, it gives you a lot of perspective on the journey and a lot of appreciation for what it takes to be a mom. And one of the things, I always get emotional talking about it, because as the journey itself is such an emotional roller coaster. But one of the things that I really, what I realized once I actually had this baby in my arms is, my heart will never forget how it broke during those years. But in that moment, it will always remember how it healed. And I think that's something to remember, that your heart will heal. The end result is totally worth it. But find people who have been on that journey with you and reach out, because we do want to talk about it. I don't think it's a topic that's so taboo anymore. And that's one of the reasons I have been vocal about it, is that there are so many women out there struggling, and I just don't think it's talked about enough. And it should be, especially as more women are pursuing careers and living out their best professional lives. So it's important to me to make sure that no matter how emotional I get about it, that I'm still open to talking about it and sharing my journey and the good, the bad, and the ugly about it. 'Cause the end is worth it. It really is. And I guess, one of the other things that I've thought about a lot this weekend is that for those struggling with infertility, this weekend is really hard. I remember there were years that I used to dread this weekend, because every year I thought, okay, Mother's Day, my first Mother's Day will be this year or next year. And that's why when you sent me that text, I actually got emotional, like, oh my God, I'm a mom now. So it is, it's a hard journey, but it's worth it. So.
You are a mom now.
Yep.
What a gift. What a blessing. Melissa, what do you, for those who will struggle this Mother's Day weekend and week and year, you said just push through it, but how did you push through it? I mean, was it a kind of a day by day thing and leaning on those?
Yeah. I mean, some days it is. Some days, everybody struggles with something, and you really never know what people are struggling with behind closed doors. So I think finding a way to give yourself grace and finding a way to give others grace just helps you keep things in perspective. But it's really hard. Some days were really hard. Some days, I just kind of wanted to, just stay at home and stay in bed. But I knew that that wasn't going to get me anywhere. So you just kind of, like I said before, you have to find a way to celebrate those small wins, and no positive thing is too small to celebrate. And you just try to focus on those moments, and remember that the big win is somewhere. It's somewhere at the end of this journey, whenever that is. And focus on, and like I said, find a village, find people that will support you and help you, and really just comfort you through those kind of dark times and tough days, like anything, any struggle that anybody has. But I don't know. It's when I look back at it, it's I don't know how I got through it some days, to be honest. But
what are some of your favorite moments with your baby girl? How many days is it? I mean, how old is she now?
She's 5 weeks.
Okay.
Just like just looking at her and just being able to actually hold her in my arms, whether she's crying or, her poop face, which is still adorable. But
later
really
she'll say, Mom.
Yeah. Just really learning her. Yeah. I think that's what my favorite thing is every week I learn more about her and what she needs and what she wants. And it's just incredible how much you learn about each other and about being a mom. From someone who can't talk. I mean, that's the best part, is that this is just this innocent little beautiful human who cannot communicate except crying, but somehow she teaches you so much. But I just love those moments. I love our morning walks, and I'm grateful that I have this time away from work to really spend with her and just soak it all in until I do have to go back to work. So
wait till she realizes what a rock star you are in the working world. Dr. Hancock, who works magic on faces, reconstructive surgery, and oh my goodness, the work. So she'll see that one day. And you ready to, do both big jobs? Those are big jobs.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm fortunate that we are able to have help. So, we found like a really great nanny. And I have my mom in town, which is amazing. So, it's kind of surreal to have like my mom helping take care of me and her grandchild. And, I just hope that I can be as good of a mom to my daughter as she has been to me. So.
Well, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for sharing your story and your time.
Sure.
Love you, girl.
Love you, Paige.
Thanks. Joining me now is a dear friend of mine, Krista Hughes. She's in sales. She's a dynamo mom of two, lives on a block with another one of our best friends, and just part of the mom group, one of the many mom groups that we have, right?
Yes.
Krista, I know you have many nuggets in there. What's something you're thinking about? Wait, actually, you know what? I didn't know you were going to come. And when you texted me something that I was going to share at the end about, hey, this whole idea was so neat because you helped me pause to think.
That's actually why why I came in, is because I thought Paige sent such a nice note to many of us, and it helped me stop and pause and reflect, because I think as a busy mom where I am and where my friends are in life right now, we're just running and doing all these wonderful things and great adventures and enjoying all the fun and craziness of it all, but you rarely stop and reflect on why. So your note was really why I thought, well, maybe I'll come in and share. And the thought I had around it was I could probably share a bunch of funny and stories and challenges and so forth, but really my mind landed immediately at gratitude. So I really had gratitude for the opportunity to be a mom, to have an incredible husband who just makes me be a mom better. For friends, for a friend and friends that said, hey, stop and pause and really think about reflecting on what you do and how you do it and why you do what you do to be a mom. So that, and then obviously for my children, they're incredible, and it's such a pleasure and gives me so much purpose, laughter, and love to watch them grow and be their own unique and incredible individuals. So
I love that, because there's so much noise, right?
Yes.
And so it's just it truly is that moment to pause. It's get the card or get the moment over coffee, anything, right?
Right.
Anything, any reason, but let's remind each other.
Exactly. So thank
Happy
you.
Mother's Day.
Thank you, Paige. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me.
Of course.
To stop and pause.
Well, grateful for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Same here.
Thanks. Now I'm joined by a dear friend of mine, Kelly McLeod, who is a mom of two and a brand new business owner, her own business, starting Hype Marketing and PR. Congratulations.
Thank you, Paige.
Breaking news.
I know, it is.
On the Paige Kornblue Show. you just took a big step that a lot of women think about over time and for years and don't always do it. And you did it.
I did.
How does it feel?
It feels fantastic. Yes, it feels so great. It's, like jumping into the deep end of the pool. And sometimes you just have to take the leap of faith. And, when you have that little feeling inside, it's when you listen to your gut and you just go for it.
Yeah. So many things to do as a mom, and now with work. I mean, always with work. You've always worked. You were in fashion and, PR and marketing and everything kind of wove together. And then now Hype.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Hype. Yes. So we are a full service marketing agency and taking on a few clients, and whether it's traditional press releases and working with media or event planning and creating strategic marketing plans, we kind of do it all. Okay. So.
All right. More on that.
Yes.
But your mom nugget to share on this Mother's Day episode.
Yes. I love that you're doing this. And I feel like I always find myself saying, I feel like we're the glue. We're the ones making the appointments, scheduling the things, keeping that boat on a straight path, chugging along. And how often do we put ourselves last? And, my advice is to find something that brings you joy, that one little thing that you can go and do and clear your mind and just kind of like bring you back to yourself. And whether it's going to a Pilates class, going for a run, taking an hour to read a book, go walking with a friend, just something that allows you to just center yourself and like reset. We always say reset in our house. And, when you find that, you schedule it into the week. Of course, it would be wonderful to do it every day. That's just not always realistic.
Right.
Maybe it's 2 or 3 times a week, but just to find something that brings you joy, I think, and to just find a way to schedule it and make it a priority for you, for yourself. And, when we're mentally clear and sound, it just makes the rest of the ship like really sail in the right way.
How are you successful doing that? What's your tip there?
It's tricky.
Yeah,
it is.
Help us out, Kel.
It's tricky. And I truthfully, on like Sunday, will like look at my week and say, okay, so there's it's a puzzle. There's a million different things happening, and when can I fit it in? And whether it's like early in the morning or late at night or smack at noon in the middle of the day, and like I said, it's not necessarily every day, but it's, a couple times a week, and it helps. It really helps. Yeah.
It's creating that pause for yourself.
It does. Or connecting with a friend, meeting a friend for lunch, but just not forgetting about ourselves, because I feel like, mom friends, we get together. What do we, that's what we talk about. We're thinking of everybody else, which is a wonderful thing, but sometimes we need to remember ourselves. And I feel like that's Mother's Day. It's sort of remembering, bringing it back. Okay. Right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Kelly. I love that. That's a really important reminder.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
So we're going to head into the studio world, a different studio, the studio of Danielle Hollander, Remix Pilates. It's a company you started not long ago, a mom of 2. How has that been for you, taking the leap into the fitness space with your own company?
It has been so much fun. It is definitely different than anything I have ever done before, but it was such a passion of mine that I was like, I have to do this. It was just, I felt so passionate about the workout, about modern Pilates, about everything that it had to offer, the physical, the mental challenge, and then how efficient it is, especially I was practicing law and I had 2 kids, and I was like, this is the most efficient full body workout that I had ever done. And I just wanted to share it with everybody.
In the world.
Right.
So talk about mind, body, spirit, right, as moms, and how important that, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour a day, whether you find Pilates or any fitness routine, how important that is that you found as a mom too.
I think that we do so much for other people as moms. I know for myself, I devote almost every hour of my day to somebody else, whether it's my husband or the kids or, the dogs, everybody, all the people who work at Remix, and then to just take that 50 minutes, like less than an hour for yourself. And then also try to block out everything else in your world and just set your intention on focusing that 1 hour for yourself. It does so much for me mentally and physically. That I just feel like everyone should do it for themselves. Every mom should take that 1 hour, whatever it is that it is for them, that really, does it for them, that makes them feel refreshed and like they've done something for themselves.
Yeah. Any other little nuggets that you live by and love to share with friends?
Yeah, there's so many. I'm like, where do I even start? For one, I mean, especially with raising the children, I think the most important thing is to just be intentional in every moment that we have and not, try to make plans for the next moment or for the next day and just try to, as hard it is, it's always a struggle for me because I'm always thinking ahead, and we have to, as moms, kind of plan ahead, but just try to pull myself back and say, okay, like live in this moment right now, put your phone down, don't plan for the next moment, wait till the kids go to bed to make those plans and to, do that work, answer those emails. And of course, like there's so many things that are imminent and you have to take care of at the moment, and that's fine. But in general, I just try to live in the moment and, be there for the kids because it's such a short time that we have them in our house and under our, under our home,
our roof, in our world.
Yeah.
Danielle, thank you. You are inspirational. You are killing it. You're doing great across the board. And I love seeing what you're doing. And thanks for spreading the love there in Remix for all of us.
Thank you so much.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thanks. Welcome back to the Paige Kornblue Show. This is a special Mother's Day month episode, a tribute to the moms out there, those moms with us in spirit, and those of you who are moms. So whether you're working in the office, getting your walk in, running errands right now, on a plane, folding laundry, hand that over to your kids or your husband. That's what I say. Have them do it with you. Sipping wine, hiding in the pantry for that minute of peace. Wherever you are, whatever floats your boat. Here are a few thoughts from some friends who couldn't be with me in the studio today, but shot me a message. A friend of mine, Shannon Favoli, she works at the beautiful Breakers Hotel in Palm Beach. I met her when I worked alongside her husband, John Favoli, at WPTV for many years. And she's someone who just walks in a room and delivers joy on the spot. Always has, but she had something today and couldn't make it, but she said this: I will leave you with this, Paige. I always remember my mom, Mitzi, who's watching from above, telling me whenever I'd be upset or I had a bad day, she would say, well, I guess it's time to put a period and move forward. Sage advice from the most awesome mama I ever knew. Thank you, Shannon. That is perfect. Just put a period on it and move forward when something's upsetting. Barb Schmidt, the mom half of Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life, the inspirational mother-daughter duo, her daughter Michelle, of course. Barb shared this quote on social media. It's one of the many quotes they share. Women are expected to work like they don't have children and raise children as if they don't work. Sending love to every woman who feels like she's being measured by impossible standards. I love the motivation they share and the thoughts that they share across the board at live events and on social media and in their books and in the work. So definitely check out Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life. And to that, I want to play this ESPN Boca Raton Bowl Women Changing the Game clip. This was from last November. This is one of the many lead-in events that we do leading up to the bowl game. And I'm going to play it on my phone here, and I know the microphone will pick it up. But this is my one of my favorite clips from Pri Shumate. She's the CMO and senior VP at the Miami Dolphins, F1, Miami Open, she's awesome. So this was her at Women Changing the Game. She was live with Bonnie Bernstein and Maria Marino. So this is what her thoughts on Superwoman is. This is me moderating.
Phrases you mentioned, Bonnie, was time management. And on this note of winning some and losing some, I feel like so many women in leadership positions feel this pressure to be superwoman, right? So I want to know from each of you, it's that whole, the balance, and is there such thing as balance? But how do you manage that pressure and that knack of all of us trying to do so much?
Can I just make a quick comment on that? So we knew this question was going to be asked, okay? And I would just put it out there.
Sorry, it's a good one, and I know we all feel it sometimes.
We like to prepare. I love this question because I get it all the time. And have you ever heard that question being asked of a man? If there are no expectations for men to be supermen, why are there expectations for women to be superwomen? But I think it's a really serious thing because, look, I don't know about you guys, but I need help all the time. I am not Superwoman. I'm not going to be Superwoman. I have to make choices every day. And I just can't do it alone. I have to make choices based on what's important to me. So this myth of Superwoman, I think needs to be done with. Like, shake it off and understand that, you will need help. So get ready to ask for help. And you will have to make choices. And, when we talk about pressure, like, that's how I think about it. I have to make choices. And I have to be okay with my choices. And not often will we know the consequences of our choices. But you have to try, and it goes back to sport, right? You have to try, and if you fail, you get up and you try again. There is no Superwoman, I don't think. I mean, there is one, and she's absolutely gorgeous, and she's in the movies.
Thank you. Pre-Shoemate from the Miami Dolphins, CMO, Senior VP. Obviously, she's amazing. I'm so glad I asked that question when I was moderating the panel because she rocked it and answered it beautifully. Keeping on the subject of sports, Tough as a Mother, Women in Sports, Working Moms, and the Shared Traits That Empower Us All. It's a new book written to support moms and their strength and sacrifice, their toughness and tenderness, success and struggles. I'll be featuring this book on this show down the road once I read it. But one of the authors is a mentor of mine. She has been through my whole life since I interned with her when I was in college at NBC Sports. But it's on my pile of books to read. It's embarrassing how high that pile is on my bedside stand, but telling, right? Because kids and work always come first. But I can't wait to share that one. But that's a good one. And also on the sports note, a shout out to my boss, ESPN Events Vice President Clint Overby, who every year emails the moms in our ESPN Events group to wish us all a happy Mother's Day. And writing this morning, wishing each of you a happy Mother's Day weekend. Am hopeful you get the rest and the recognition you deserve. Thank you for all that you do for our team. That one meant a lot to me. So share the love everywhere when you can. This is motherhood, a team effort from the heart for the soul. To the mamas who are missing someone this weekend, I see you. Keep her present. It's the best thing I do to help soften the pain when I miss my mom so much. And I think it helps my kids continue to get to know her as well. To those still waiting for your miracle, lean on people like Melissa Hancock, who you heard earlier in this show. We hold space for you and we're here for you. And to the ones figuring it out day by day, you are doing amazing. You are not alone. We got this, right? So thank you for listening. Kudos to you. Kudos to moms everywhere. Do check out my website. It's paigekornblue.com, Paige with an I and Kornblue with a K. You can follow along at Paige Kornblue Media. And of course, follow this show. Please give that 5-star review. It really helps out big time. So most importantly, cheers to you. And until next time, see you soon. Thanks.